Mhm. Wen hatten wir denn jetzt noch hier?
It's locked, all right. This is despicable.
Warum? Keine Ahnung, was die schon wieder patchen. Das weiß ich nicht, ob er das macht. Warum? Ich zerstöre euer Internet, meine Freunde. Unbekannt. Guck mal, noch einen gefunden.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright
Ach
from
so.
Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange, which requires police attention?
Boah. Warte mal, Godfrey McCallum. Nein. Bürger Benischer? Kenne ich auch nicht.
No, I've noticed nothing odd.
All right. But keep your eyes open, though.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No, but I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman.
Tell
Ja,
me.
das haben wir gerade auch, ja. Die Frau haben wir eigentlich ja gerade schon gefunden.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Komm sofort wieder. So, finde heraus, wo das Tagebuch... Was? Das ist da. Ja, aber ich will erst gucken wegen dem Typen. Versuche immer noch die ganze Zeit die Hauptquest weiterzumachen. Oder die Hauptmission. Das ist ja. Aber ich weiß immer noch nicht, wie ich da reinkomme. Niemand spielt in Skyrim die Hauptquest.
Dr. Reed.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithicut used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh, yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man, not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Goodbye, Carol.
Und wie sie die ganze Zeit uns
I am
ruft.
sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reed.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now, but she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
Warte, nein. Abruf ein neues Video hochgeladen. Mit dem anderen Handy ging das ja nicht. Hä?
May I look at your
Was ich nicht
goods,
gucken darf.
Miss Price?
Leider God
It's
of War.
always a pleasure
Ich
to
darf
have
es nicht
you here,
gucken.
Dr. Reed. Take all the time you need.
Nein, ich bin nicht voll
Dr.
dabei.
Reed,
Alles klar.
Good evening, Miss Price.
you know you can call me Carolyn, my dear doctor.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Goodbye for now, Miss Price.
I hope you can stay a little longer.
Ich wollte die Karte haben. 2 Stück fehlen mir jetzt noch. Scheinen aber 2 Männer zu sein. Muss das Anwesen betreten. Aber wo denn? Wo ist das Anwesen denn? Das ist auf der Karte nicht abgebildet. Ah, okay, das habe ich jetzt aufgeschlossen. Frage mich immer noch, wo das Anwesen ist. Unbekannt. Da habe ich, glaube ich, die anderen beiden gefunden. Könnten Brüder sein.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
What kind of question is that? What am I supposed to answer exactly?
The truth. And I believe you just did it, actually.
Mein Power.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
Who are you waiting for exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you are not in your place? That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Ja, vor allem, wenn, warte mal, sein Sohn ist reingekommen, dass sein Freund positiv getestet wurde. Okay. Das ist halt die Frage, auf was, ne? Wir haben ja mittlerweile 3 verschiedene Arten von Corona. Weiß ich nicht. Also, wenn Togo und Alex nachher mitmachen wollen, könnten wir vielleicht noch so ein Stündchen spielen. Oder 2. Wir müssen dann nur mal gucken. Wenn die beide Lust haben, dann können wir bestimmt noch was machen. Also, zu zweit ist es halt scheiße. Da lohnt sich das nicht, auf Experte zu spielen.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out who we are that changes us.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life, and now I think it's over.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He has always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Das heißt, wir müssten jetzt eigentlich... Sekunde... Wir haben alle. Jetzt müssen wir nur noch in dieses Anwesen reinkommen. Ja, ich muss erstmal gucken, wo das Ding ist. Weil es wird mir kein Symbol angezeigt. Deswegen soll ich das Anwesen betreten, wenn ich nicht weiß, wo es ist. Was steht denn in der Quest drin? Wo ist es denn hier? Ah ja. Hier nichts drin großartig. Heißt, wir müssen das dann suchen. Irgendwo muss es dann ja eine Möglichkeit geben, irgendwo reinzukommen. Solltest du nicht draufdrücken, dann hast du keine Schmerzen. Ja. Muss jeder selber wissen. Ich muss jetzt aber erstmal gucken, wo diese doofe Dingen ist. Wobei das Notizbuch wahrscheinlich jetzt auch nicht so schlecht wäre, erstmal zu finden. Sag ich mir jetzt erstmal das Notizbuch an, ne? Ja, komischerweise ja, aber er sagt mir jetzt nicht, wo das Anwesen ist. Was ist das für eine Logik? Na gut, holen wir erst das Notizbuch. Wo müssen wir denn hin? Wir könnten hier durchgehen. Das wird der schnellste Weg. Also nächste Woche ist auf jeden Fall schon mal, sag mal schnell, Back 4 Blood und Left 4 Dead nochmal geplant. Also Petra wollte ja nochmal mit uns zocken. Left 4 Dead. Das machen wir dann auf jeden Fall nochmal. Und Back 4 Blood fangen wir dann an, wenn du dann wieder da bist. Fast so um 9 rum, so eine Stunde circa. Das heißt, ich müsste das einfach mal eben starten. Und das Ganze schon mal einstellen, damit ich das schon mal fertig habe. Muss ich wieder hier durchlaufen. Weil dürfte eigentlich auch keiner sein, weil ich habe die eigentlich alle platt gemacht. Hauptsache die Eisenbahn fährt hier durch. Falsche Richtung. Warte mal. Und jetzt hier rum? Ich kann hier nicht rum. Wer meint er hier durch? Hier durch. Und dann links rum. Ach, die sind auch wieder respawned. Ach, das ist jetzt im Theater das Ding, oder was?
I will return later.
Nee, eben nicht. Ah, ich komme nicht rein.
cannot
Okay.
enter.
Es ist aber im Theater drin, das Buch. Will ich jetzt drauf tippen. Das heißt, jetzt kann ich keine Nebenquest machen. Weil ich weder weiß, wo der Typ ist, noch kann ich nicht da rein. Muss ich gleich mal googeln, wo der ist. Ich habe jetzt keine Lust zu suchen. Aber da haben wir auch noch eine Kiste. Vielleicht haben wir Glück und es ist hier. Nein, natürlich nicht. Es ist hundertprozentig im Theater. Definitiv. Oder schreien sie rum und ihr chillt hier einfach. Ne, ich habe es auch nicht abgebildet, ne? Nö. Okay, wie heißt die Quest denn? Unnatürliches Selektion. Müssen wir mal. Schon sehr interessant, wenn ich das bei Google eintippe, dass es direkt das erste ist, was rauskommt. Was? Ich habe Discord gar nicht reingeguckt. ist denn hier? Nein. Oh, ich hasse sowas. So, mal gucken. Sind übrigens komplett falsch. Das soll laut dem irgendwo hier sein. Ist richtig. Ja. Aber jetzt zwei, ich sag jetzt zwei Sachen. Was gibt's nicht? Muss ich den Scheiß jetzt selber suchen? Ich will dieses Spiel einfach nur durchspielen, will jetzt nicht ewig danach suchen. Nein, bringt mir auch nichts. Das hätte ich mir auch schenken können. Also wir müssen definitiv wieder zurück. Und da kann ich nicht rein.
It's locked.
Alter, hast du einen Arsch auf? Das nicht hier irgendwo, wo wir nicht reingekommen sind? Die beiden sitzen die oben, die beiden Brüder, ja, natürlich. Wer ist der andere Typ? Ach, das ist der Inspektor, den haben wir also auch gefunden. Aber wo soll das Anwesen sein? Da kommen wir nicht rein.
It's locked, all right.
Komme ich auch nicht rein. Vor allem, warum wird das nicht auf der Karte angezeigt? Das ist halt das Nächste. Ach ja. Also hier ist es definitiv nicht. Da muss ich doch erst durch die Kanalisation. Ne, warte mal, ich bin auch da durchgekommen. Da ist das Geschäft. Und so ein Anwesen kannst du doch eigentlich nicht übersehen. Okay, jetzt bin ich irgendwie am anderen Ende rausgekommen. Das hat mich jetzt auch nicht viel weitergebracht.
Best be moving on. Easy nothing, boys. We can deal with it.
Ich glaube, ich habe es gefunden. Ich bin mir aber nicht sicher.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Nein, wir machen es nicht, wenn ich die Auswahlmöglichkeit habe. Ich hoffe, wir haben genug Informationen gesammelt, dass wir es nicht machen. Oder weißt du gar nicht, was das KKC ist? Ja, stimmt. Ja, ja, das war noch zu Pferde-Zeiten. Ja, ja, die anderen Gruppen gibt es dann nicht mehr. Also ich hab's nicht mehr drin.
It's locked.
Ach, er sitzt da. Bin mir nicht sicher, ob das so eine gute Idee ist.
Finally, you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Sir, I'm going to end your life. Do you not wish to discuss the procedure for even a minute?
I don't have a minute to indulge in idle chatter. I can't feel my legs. And the cold, so cold.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed. And I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London, I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
By doing so, you will also create two separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. As long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Boah, euer Scheiß Ernst. Euer Scheiß Ernst. Warum kriege ich jetzt mal so beschissene Dinger? Verwandelt auf was dabei 2000 EP und macht... Nein, wir machen ihn definitiv nicht zum Vampir. Ich brauche die EP-Aussagen, wenn wir auch nicht. Ich glaube, wir werden ihn in den Band ziehen.
Listen to me, Aloysius Dawson. You will forget your fear of dying, for it has poisoned your mind and made you bitter and ruthless since the death of your twin brother.
You don't understand. Death is oblivion, the eternal void. I know there's nothing there. I saw it in Robert's empty eyes. I saw myself in that coffin.
Death is painful for those who remain, not for those who have passed. All that occult gibberish you filled your head with has made you forget this simple truth.
No! Death will not claim me. I have the power and the money. I've acquired the arcane knowledge needed. I believe there is magic, there are dark forces. You will provide me my extension.
Your ignorance makes you a fool. You have no idea. Look at me. Hunted like a beast, my family lost, cursed. I have not escaped death, I have become it.
No, there must be a way. I don't want to go like my brother did. I have money, lots of money.
Money won't ease your mind. I know you used to be a good and generous man. So I offer you the gift of peace, Aloysius. The tranquility of a true death.
I accept your offer. And I understand. No more fear, I will die a man of dignity. And a man at peace.
Zeichen stehen auf Tod. Ja, das Problem ist, wenn ich den aussage, dann töte ich ja jemanden. Und wir haben bisher keinen von denen, wo wir die Entscheidung treffen konnten, getötet. Wir haben die alle am Leben gelassen, obwohl es eigentlich bisher zweimal immer die falsche Entscheidung war, weil wir die Leute immer, zumindest bei einem haben wir in den Bann gezogen, bei dem anderen haben wir den, ich sage halt mal, wo ich sagen würde, den normalen Weg genommen. Und bei ihm, ja, 2000 EP, wir haben jetzt 5000, wir brauchen die scheiß EP, um uns zu stärken, um weiterzukommen, da verschenke ich die doch nicht. Ich gebe dir gleich Twilight. Ich nuckel nicht an irgendwelchen Dingern rum. Jein, also ich will ja nicht unbedingt töten, wenn ich es warte, wie eine Fratze, also guck dir das Gesicht an. Wenn ich es nicht machen muss. Und da habe ich ja die Entscheidung. Also ich weiß, dass es 4 verschiedene Enden gibt. Das weiß ich. Wie aber die aussehen, weiß ich nicht. Ich gehe mal davon aus, dass wir nicht mal das schlechteste Ende bekommen, weil alles bisher noch einigermaßen in Ordnung ist. Und den Typen in einen Vampir zu verwandeln, der so jetzt schon ein Arsch ist, bringt uns rein gar nichts.
Is it done, Dr. Reed? Is Aloysius Dawson reborn as expected?
I'm afraid Mr. Dawson finally chose to embrace life and death as a mortal.
What do you mean?
He has overcome his fear of dying. I let him rest and wait for death to come.
What? This is unacceptable. Go back there and make him the powerful Ekon he's destined to be.
No, Lord Redgrave. As a doctor and as an immortal, I can't. If you wish to make him your progeny, then proceed on your own.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished. You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rats.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor, and take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
Und das Schwert wird dich richten. Beschütze das Hamlet Hospital. What? Ich glaube, wir kommen gerade Richtung Finale. Ich habe so das Gefühl, wir kommen gerade Richtung Ende. Oh nein, ich mache mal eine neue